My fiance secretly flew to Paris to visit his ex. Should I leave him? And this is OKOP, where we read the craziest true stories on earth. I'm John, and Sophia, do you think, with zero context, that OP should leave this relationship?
Yes.
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 Do I sense a divorce chant in the works?
You do. I think there's a divorce chance coming. It's bubbling up.
I am so ready for this divorce chant. And actually, this is very special because this is the first time that we have excommunicated Sam from the podcast.
Yes, he's gone.
Just totally kicked him out.
I've stolen his face and I've stolen his podcast.
You have. Yeah. And we are honestly so glad. We are so happy. Which, by the way, we do have a exclusive OK Story Time on a story that Sam has shared against you that we're going to get.
Has he shared it on the pod?
Multiple times.
Wait, is this the pod? What is this? It's a pod?
It's the pod.
This is the pod. Okay.
So you are going to give the hot tea exclusive on your side of the story.
Okay.
After the story.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be hot goss.
Okay, yeah, of course.
Are you ready?
Yes.
So this comes from Throwaway Secret Paris. They say, fake names, this is a throwaway because my fiance is a big Reddit user. Perfect place for this story. My fiance, 27 female, Eric, 27 male, has a friend named Jane, 20-something female, who lives in Paris. We were introduced to each other through our friends, so we've only met once over video chat. Me and my fiance Eric have been together for over a year and a half, and before we got together, he and his ex Jane were involved.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Suspicious. Wait, no, they were still dating.
They were dating at the time.
Okay.
But it could be suspicious.
It could be suspicious.
We don't know.
We don't know yet.
He told me it ended badly, but they did get over it. I don't know exactly what happened. I've never asked. She is really important to him. They do talk once or twice a month over text or video chat, and I know that they have a lot in common. I don't know Jane's situation, but Eric's parents were abusive, and I've pieced together that Jane's were as well. I've never gotten the impression that either one of them wants to go back to how it was, and he's never given me a reason to be insecure until now. I have to throw
a little red flag.
Red flag on the play. Sophia, do you think it's a red flag if they're in regular monthly contact with their ex?
I think that's kind of tricky. I feel like that's kind of towing the line.
Yeah.
Because if they have like a history of, parental problems, maybe it's just helpful, but I don't know.
It's a tough one, right? Because if you think about if they had a kid together, will it be totally normal for them to be in contact? Yeah. So there are things that like make it totally normal to be in contact with an ex, but I guess outside of kids, that's where it really gets like...
It's like trauma bonding low-key. Yeah. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. So it seems like they're both like, his ex is still important, but maybe, I don't know. But it also, OP it doesn't seem uncomfortable with it, so... That's
true. Until now.
Yeah.
Until now.
Yeah.
He asked me to marry him 3 weeks ago, and I said yes.
Congratulations.
I was really excited to marry him. But then suddenly, a few days ago, he announced that he needed to go visit family, which was weird because he cut his family off several years ago. Really? Let me visit my excommunicated. Another red flag? He has expressed to me that he has no interest in seeing them again. He said that it was an important family emergency, and then he just left. He kept me updated, and we talked a few times on the phone. He told me that his mom was having health issues. I had no reason to be suspicious. Quick edit, I'm reading that over and it sounds weird, but he's always been very touchy when it comes to talking about his family, and I didn't want to push it. But then, a couple of hours ago, I got a message from his ex, Jane, asking if Eric was okay. I said that he was visiting family, so he was probably just a bit stressed out, which is why he wasn't responding to her messages. She then informed me that he is in Paris.
Oh my God.
Chocolat bleu.
How could he?
Oh, baguette. In Paris with her.
Wait, why did she text the girlfriend then? OP.
Maybe because like she was like, oh, hey, we've been together.
Did you know?
Now he's gone. You know what I mean? Like, he disappeared from me in Paris.
Oh
so
my
like,
God.
where is he at?
He's at the Eiffel Tower.
And maybe
he's visiting the sites.
He might be visiting the wrong sites.
Yeah.
The site he should be visiting is his fiance.
At their wedding.
On
the aisle.
There. But he's taking in some other views, it looks like, right now. And she snuck a photo of him in her apartment. Okay, so she's got receipts.
It feels like she's setting him up.
Yeah, right? She's
like, I just saw your boyfriend in Paris. He's with me right now.
I hired a private investigator to find out the clue. I haven't replied to her just yet. I am freaking out. I have no idea what to do. He just got on a plane to fly for 12 hours to see her without telling me, presumably last minute. Why is he there? Do I talk to him? Has anyone else ever been in this kind of situation? So we have some relevant comments.
Okay.
And a juicy update.
Oh, I love a juicy update.
Coming up. But we have to take a pause right here. What should Opie do?
I think
do we do?
Yeah, I think they have to talk. I think they have to talk to the partner. Because like maybe something came up with his mom and then he needed to like talk. I don't know.
She had an emergency, Paris. I need to taste the finest baguettes in all of Paris.
And she really needed to go to Paris and he would just happen to be there. And then he was like, hey, my ex is here. Might go visit her.
Wait. I think I have a tinfoil hat moment. Okay, let's put on our tinfoil hats.
I made these guys.
Oh, which by the way, they're incredible. Please put in the comments below how much you love these.
Yeah.
Because you know you love them and Sophia
I'm really
made them.
crafty.
Yes. So what if,
okay.
Big moonshot here. He is going to Paris to plan the wedding for OP in Paris.
In Paris.
It's going to be a big surprise.
Beautiful.
And he needs not just a woman to consult him, a woman who he knows well, who knows him well, to help plan the perfect wedding.
Could be.
Could it be possible?
It could be. And his mom is there too.
And his mom is there for some reason, who he cut off years ago.
He's rekindling the relationship in Paris with his mom.
Yes.
And not his ex.
Not his ex.
Or
maybe, and his ex to help. Everyone's planning the wedding.
He
called the Avengers of his life.
Wedding planner.
The Avengers of women in his life to plan a surprise Paris wedding for his fiance.
Yes.
I mean, it's possible.
It could be.
We have seen crazy things on the show, but we also have the sad, true, cold, hard facts.
Yeah.
Of literally what has been written.
Yeah.
And shared in the story.
And maybe not so happy ending.
So I think we have to come
back to
reality. Back from outer space from our UFOs and see the sad, cold, hard reality that is facing OP in the face right now. Some relevant comments.
Okay.
This one comes from Goose211. I mean, good for her. Great name, right?
Like it.
I mean, good on her, the ex-Jane, for telling you. Is she aware that you guys are engaged? Now, that is a great question because I get the sense she doesn't even know that OP is unaware that the fiance's there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I feel like she does know that she has to know that they're engaged if she has and is like texting OP.
Got to be, right?
Yeah.
I think the question
that's the thing
is
that you post on Instagram or something.
Yeah. I feel like the big question here is does Jane know that OP does not know that it is not
that
in
her
the loop,
boyfriend is or her fiance is there?
Exactly. So OP replies, yes, she knows. She congratulated us both. And I believe he told her that he was going to propose before he did. Wow. Okay, so he's even telling her like, hey, I'm planning on.
Well, it seems like they're really like they dated and then they got really close as friends.
Yes.
So maybe it's not negative.
Maybe. Again, like if you go to the children situation, I think it's very normal for people to co-parent and have a healthy co-parenting relationship to care for their children and just have like the best setup possible. So in that environment, I think it's like very possible to have a great relationship like that. But outside of that.
Yeah. I think it's just where we get into a little dangerous. It's the not telling.
The gray zone.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Put in the comments if you have been in a similar situation before where you have a very close relationship with your ex that's not like around. There was some other reason other than children.
It turned into friendship or something.
I'm very curious to see. But we have a juicy update. Juicy update. Uncia. Let's get into it.
I like that.
On to the update. Thank you for all the comments and advice. I read every single one and I appreciate all of the advice. I'm sorry I'm late for the update, but I am extremely tired and haven't really sat down in a week and a half.
Aww.
To get to the point, we have to guess. Is OP still in this relationship or not? Sophia.
I'm gonna say yes.
Still in the relationship?
I think maybe they're still in the relationship. I think they're working it out.
I left him. It's over.
Oh my God.
Chocolat bleu.
Wow.
A lot of people were concerned that he'd find the post, but I did change a lot of the details.
Mm-hmm.
The main issue remains the same. The ex Jane lives in a foreign country at least 12 hours away, and he decided to go to her without telling me.
Yeah, that's true.
I also did see some comments discussing the age gap between Eric and his ex Jane. Jane is in her late 20s. I said 20s-ish because I wasn't sure at the time exactly how old she was. After I posted and the comments started rolling in, I had to shut my phone off. There were many people saying that Eric wanted to be with Jane, that he wasn't over her, and I started having a panic attack. Yeah, that's like, imagine you're like your deepest insecurity and you have hundreds of strangers commenting to basically confirm that.
That's awful. I'm sorry, OP.
Terrible.
How old is OP's ex-fiance?
Both 27.
Oh, what's
Both
the
27.
age gap?
So the age gap was the ex Jane.
Yeah, how old is she?
In her late 20s.
Earlier, she thought that she was like in her early
late
20s.
20s.
Oh, okay. So they thought
So they're all the same age, but
got it.
Yeah. I am not an insecure person usually. And Eric had given me absolutely no reason to be. But this whole thing, I felt very stupid and like I'd been blind.
Oh.
I know, right? He was always very open about his friendship with Jane and how much she meant to him. But there was absolutely nothing that made me think that he still had feelings for her. Honestly, even if he told me he wanted to go visit her without me, I'd probably have said this was fine as long as I go on my own vacation.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But anyways, I got Jane on the phone the next day.
Oh my God. She called Jane up?
Her story is that he just showed up at her door, claiming that he missed her and he just needed to, quote unquote, get away.
No, from his fiance? Oh my good. Yeah.
Babe, I just needed a second to like clear my head so I could be like so clear on my love for you, babe. Like I just needed, one time of seeing her, just like being there, smelling her beautiful French scents.
I just needed to be in Paris.
Yeah.
With you. And not my fiance.
Exactly. Jane provided proof that she had no idea he was coming. Okay, that's actually pretty important.
Jane sounds pretty cool.
Sounds like a real one. And I have no reason not to believe her when she tells me that nothing happened. I think she was angrier than I was. At the same time, she figured that something really bad must have happened either with me or his family. She knew from past experiences it was better to just let him talk when he was ready rather than pushing it. So we're going to take a break right here. Do we think that the ex Jane is innocent?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think I think she's been in like regular contact with OP. She's like the second that he showed up, she was like, "Hey, is something going on?"
Yeah.
And I feel like you wouldn't text. Like you wouldn't text the person like if you were trying to hide it.
Sneaky.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't even think about it, but I think you're right. My initial thought was the text was, "Oh, he's here. He of course told you, and I haven't seen him like today or whatever." But I think you're right. He just showed up.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Hey, is everything okay?" Because he just showed up at my door.
What's going on?
Which is even better.
Yeah.
Like that even more is in her favor. I think so too.
Yeah.
It seems like, because think about it from her perspective too. They live countries apart. She's probably like, you are engaged.
Yeah.
I want to move on with my life.
Yeah, they had a messy breakup.
They do have regular contact. So I'd imagine it's something they have to be pretty like, hopefully have like very strict and clear boundaries around. And she's like, "Yo, you're kind of breaking all the boundaries right now by showing up unannounced.
Like, that's insane. To come to Paris, like 14-hour flight.
Probably over $1,000, well over $1,000, maybe over $2,000.
Was he expecting to stay with her?
Shows up at her door. Everything is looking good for Jane. Not good for Eric.
Yeah. Jane's cool.
Yeah.
Eric sucks.
Eric Jules. Yeah, take that, Eric. But back to the story. So the ex-Jane gave it 2 days, during which he was behaving very impulsively, kept spacing out, and he brought up their past multiple times. They hadn't seriously spoken about it since it ended years ago. He's usually the calmer, more level-headed of the two of them, so this behavior was extremely out of character. Finally, she decided to text me to see if I knew if anything was going on. So it looks like after the 2 days is when she reached out.
So he was staying with her for 2 days.
That is a great question, Riley. Producer Riley Big Protein. Do we know if that's the case? If Eric was in fact staying with Jane the ex?
Oh, I don't think so.
It's not clear.
He just went to her apartment, but I don't think.
Yeah. So I think possibly.
Yeah.
Could be.
Because with her track record, I don't think she would allow that.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I feel like, because when I just came back from traveling and I would just like hit people up, who even if I didn't know them that well, like, friends and family, I'd be like, hey, can I stay with you? Because,
that's
traveling is expensive. So usually, even if you're not,
But did your ex, who's engaged to be married,
that's true,
show up at your door?
No, they're not.
Come on, you don't have an Eric the fiance knocking at your door, or vice versa.
Yeah. So maybe she said, you're not allowed to stay here. Go stay at the Marriott.
Maybe. It's unclear, but we'll see if we can find out. Finally, she decided to text me to see if I knew of anything. After I told her that he was with his family, she put it together pretty quick that I had no idea where he was. Ouch.
Yikes.
And then she confronted him about it.
Oh, cool.
They got into a massive fight that lasted for hours, and she eventually told him to leave. Okay, so that sounds even more like
he's staying with her. Yeah.
She didn't really tell me what the fight was about, just that she yelled at him for not telling me, but after talking to him, I've got a hunch. Me and Jane talked for a long time. Both of us were crying by the end of it. Oh. I think this whole thing opened up some wounds. She told me their history, a lot of which really surprised me, like how they weren't even really boyfriend and girlfriend, and that he's the one who ended it. He'd always given me the impression that it was bad, but ultimately a mutual breakup. It was just a really toxic situation for both of them, and it took them a long time to get back to being actual friends afterwards. Which brings me to my conversation with Eric.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dream team over here. Who needs a Sam? Not us.
Phrase of the video.
You're fired. He showed up after a few days after I had talked with Jane. So sounds like he's crawling back to the old US of A or wherever they're from.
He showed up jet lagged.
Yeah.
And he brought some like chocolate from Paris.
I got you all your favorite chocolates, babe.
Yeah.
I am going to make this relationship so much better, babe.
Yeah.
So I can make a baguette.
I found myself in Paris.
Chocolate blue.
No, you've been fired, Sam.
You've been fired. Get out of here.
I'm rehired.
No. He can't be here.
Get out of here.
The OK verse is broken. Security. Escort him out. Oh, there we go. The podcast just got so much better. Okay.
Back to
the story. I had packed up and left to a friend's house at that point. He came over to talk. My friend was in the place the whole time.
That's good. Good friend.
Good friend.
Wait, did she know that the friend was there? Did he know that the friend was there? Because sometimes like girls break up with guys and like the girlfriend would be in the back of the car hiding. What if it was that situation?
What?
Yeah, break that down for me a little bit.
So like
explain.
We're in a car and there's a girl in the back
There's
seat.
a girl in a car?
There's a girl in the trunk.
Is it that?
Yeah. That's.
Was she waiting for him like outside, you mean?
Like if me and you were breaking up.
Right.
And Sophia was there for me.
Right.
But
Yeah,
Sophia was in the closet and you didn't know she was there.
Closet.
Oh, like she was staking out to gather intel.
Yeah.
I'm recording you and I'm sending it to the FBI.
If you would have known Sophia was there, you probably wouldn't say a lot of nasty things to me.
Yeah.
Right.
So then she gets
a
all
little
the
stakeout. Okay.
Yeah. I wonder if that was a situation.
Yeah.
That's a We need to get you
Yeah.
Ooh.
one of those, okay? So we ended up talking for a while. I asked him 100 questions and he answered about 5 of them.
What?
He said that he was very sorry that he can't provide an actual explanation for what he did because he himself does not understand why. I said that wasn't good enough, and I needed him to tell me what happened. He said he couldn't, but I won't understand. I suggested couples therapy for us. He's been doing it individually since before I met him,
That's good.
but he said he didn't want to. He just wants to forget that anything happened.
Typical.
Perfect.
Typical.
The positive explanation I have is that he had some kind of freak out after we got engaged, which is pretty good theory right there. Or maybe something did happen with his parents and he couldn't talk to me about it. Hence him seeing Jane, I guess. Which is fine. I don't necessarily think that if someone is struggling, the first person they should always go talk to about it is their partner. I'm totally fine with him going to Jane if he was freaking out over the prospect of us getting married, or if he did hear something about his mom. Obviously, don't fly to another country and lie about it, but that goes without saying. Jane could probably understand that better than I could and would know what to say. But he can't even talk to me about it now, nor is he making an effort. So how does that bode?
Not well.
Not well, I would say. He just wants to pretend that everything is fine and normal, and I just can't do that. On top of all of that, up until now, he's never been secretive about how he feels or what he's thinking or about his history. He hates talking about it and is touchy about people asking a lot of questions about it, but he's always told me the stuff that I ask him. I think if he was panicking over getting married, or if something actually happened with his mom, he would tell me. I can't help myself and asked if it was because he just doesn't want to talk about the fact that he wants to be with Jane and regrets how he treated her.
Oh, wow. She was direct.
She was
OP,
direct.
You really got to the point.
AF.
And I love you for that.
Yeah, we do. He denied that. But I think I hit a nerve. We see you.
You don't go to Paris for the vibes.
That's right. He claimed that he doesn't have any leftover feelings for her other than the fact that she's a big what if. That's it.
He said that?
Yeah, that's all. She's just a big what if. It's fine. She's just, that's all there is. She is important to him, but she is the past and I am the future. This may just be my fear talking, but what if this whole time he's been using me to try to make Jane jealous because he's realized that he lost her? I think he went there to see her because he's realized he still wants her. And she's been living her life without him, no problem.
In Paris.
In Paris, of all places.
Paris.
The city of romance.
She's living life.
Which I actually also have a okay story time about romance in the city of Paris. I think that's what they fought about. I think he went there to see her because he's realized that he still wants her. And she's been off living her life without him, no problem. It's bad enough that this is the case, but if I take him back, what if she changes her mind? I don't have a reason to believe that she'll change her mind. She doesn't talk about him the way that I talk about someone I'm romantically interested in. And now that I know their history, I wouldn't want him back either, but who knows? After our conversation, it's obvious that he's not 100% certain that he wants to build a life with me. And he's not willing to do what it takes to fix this. I'm not worth the work. He won't even try. And that's basically the big issue for me. I can't build a life with someone that won't put in the effort. So I don't want to be with him. I told him to leave and he left without a fight. I've blocked him on everything. I've talked to Jane a few times since then and they have spoken. She told me that he's probably going to take some time off work and just figure stuff out. I hope he can get some help. Plus, I know it sounds utterly bizarre, but I think I've actually gained a new friend in her.
Yay!
That is actually kind of, we love the unexpected friendships.
I was hoping that was going to be what happened.
The low-key wholesome turnaround.
I love that because Jane seems really cool and she seems like she's looking out for OP.
100%.
And OP, you are worth the work.
Yes.
And Eric?
And Eric is not worth the work.
Eric?
He is terrible. He is worth no work.
Yeah.
He is workless.
Oh, poor Eric.
No. Who cares? Who cares?
Eric, you need to go to therapy.
Yes. We already is in therapy, but he refused to do individual couples therapy, right? Which is so odd because it's like
Eric doesn't want to put in the work.
No.
And that's
it's clear.
Yeah. And you deserve someone who will put in the work.
You are a queen who deserves royalty, OP.
And I love you.
I said what I said.
Mm-hmm.
Jane has checked in on me multiple times and even helped put me in touch with a new place to live that I just moved into. Wow.
Jane.
Now that is above and beyond.
Jane.
Wow. Jane the friend. I am really tired.
Aw, me too.
It's been a really horrible and busy time.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for the support and the advice. I'm glad that I found out now before we started seriously planning, or worse, after we got married or had children. If I find out anything more, I will update on my profile if anyone has any advice on how to deal with the embarrassment or good ice cream flavors to get through this pain.
Oh.
Now, we do have some relevant comments to finish us off, but I think the question right here for everybody watching and for you, Sophia,
it's me.
Did OP make the right decision?
I think absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the whole relationship, she was so trusting. And then I don't think it was like she gave him a chance to explain and he didn't even try. Like he didn't even want to talk to her about it. And I feel like there are moments when you're like, oh, like you're going through something and you can't talk about it yet.
Yes.
But you can you can be like, yeah, I'm sorry, I can't talk to you about it.
I'm working through something right now.
I'm working through something.
Totally.
But like going to Paris and lying about it, that's a little too far.
And just just forget about it.
Yeah,
Je ne sais pas, baby.
Exactly. Just saying like, oh, let's just go back to normal life. No.
You can't.
You can't.
You can't do that. But we have some relevant comments to close us out here. Winterfront 1431 says, it definitely sounds like he was trying his luck with Jane. Maybe he thought he could get something to happen and then come back and either have it gotten out of the way or leave you for her. Don't wait around for him. Keep him blocked. OP says, I think it's pretty funny that he seems to have thought that the woman who has moved to a foreign country has been sitting around for the past few years just waiting for him to want her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so sorry for what he put you both through and Jane through. And if he is in counseling like he stated, it's not working because this shows he has some deep unresolved issues and he thinks he can be fixed with the right partner. Jane is a good person. I wish well to the both of you. OP says, no, seriously, she is my hero.
Yes.
And I genuinely hope that he gets the help that he needs.
Yeah.
I don't want him to be miserable for forever. He was a good partner until all of this. My experience with him doesn't match up all that much with Jane's experience with him.
Oh, OP, you're so nice.
You are an okay queen, okay? Good gravy.
God.
Wonderland Harps, another great username, says, I do think that he's got some unresolved issues, but it sounds more like he's taking some form of drug if he has no history of manic breakdowns. Not acting himself and jumping from topic to topic with Jane sounds like a mania episode or drug involvement. OP says he doesn't have any history of manic breakdowns that I know of, but he does have significant mental health issues. These come with their moments. But up until now, it's always been the I'm gonna stuff down my feelings because then they don't exist kind, more than the I'm gonna do something crazy kind. But from what I've always seen, he's managed it pretty well. It could have been a manic episode. I definitely think he panicked over something. I don't know about drugs. I really hope it's not.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have any proof of that.
We don't have any evidence.
We don't have any evidence of that, but
it is a pretty drastic thing to do.
But they were about to get married, which is a big life change.
Yes.
Which isn't saying what he did is right at all.
Of course,
but,
of course.
It could have been like he had his own problems.
The classic like cold feet or whatever, the pre-wedding jitters.
Yeah.
And then he kind of just freaked out from that and did it. Who knows? But one thing we do want to know is the okay story time where we dish on Sam.
Is it time?
It is okay story time. So, basically the story that we have heard from Sam's point of view.
Yeah, what's his point of view on this?
The defendant says, and I'm gonna butcher it a little bit, but there was basically an incident with him, Christian, who lives in the
Christian was there.
OK Estates house. They were doing some sort of Mentos in a bottle type experiment. And they were just having fun and joshing around. And I think it was something to the effect of you know, waddled in the way of it, and it released either they unintentionally or intentionally, or from Sam's point of view, completely unintentionally, and you kind of like approached it in a way that caused you to catch the Mentos bottle in the face.
Oh, he's really dramatizing the story.
Something along those lines. And then that you two have basically had conflicting versions of the story.
Yeah.
Tell us your side.
Okay.
The plaintiff continues.
This is the story. Set the scene. I think I was 12.
Okay.
My friends were over. We were having a little sewing club moment. And we were all in the front yard. So we were in the garage doing our little sewing, like with the garage door open. And Sam and Christian are doing the little Mentos in the Coke bottle kind of thing.
Classic girl activities and guy activities going on here.
Yeah. And then we wandered over because we're like, oh, that sounds fun. And so Sam puts the Mentos in the Coke bottle and then like throws it and it goes in the street. And so I see a car coming and I'm like, well, if that Mentos bottle goes off, it's going to like, you know, be loud.
Explode, yeah.
And I'm like, if a car goes past that, I was worried that it would like be a loud noise and they would, you know, freak out in the car. And I was like, that's dangerous. And so I was thinking, I was 12. So give me a little credit. I was thinking I'm going to grab it really quickly and then just throw it further away, like back towards our house.
Right.
So that, you know, it's not in the street. And so when I went to do that, it like exploded, but not in my face. I was fine. It just like, you know, loud ringing in my ears.
Right.
Yeah.
So it didn't
That's
like
the story.
It didn't like launch.
No.
Fully just exploded.
Yeah.
Near you.
I was holding it.
You were holding it?
I was holding it.
Wow.
I didn't get hurt or anything. It just like hurt my ears.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was really loud. And I was like, if a car is passing that, that's dangerous.
So here, I think I'm getting to the crux of the disagreement.
Yeah.
Did you ever like go to your parents or be like, oh, Sam like attacked me with this bottle or like anything like that?
No, my mom was there. She was in the garage and she was like, and I was like on the floor. I'm like, and she's like, what's going on? And so, I didn't blame him.
Right.
He just insinuates that I like was like, oh, bottle. And I picked it up, which is not true. I had a plan. And I was like trying to save a car.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think because like I'm like struggling to remember his full version of it.
No, that's how he tells it.
I think it's the his thing is like you were like, oh, let me just go pick up this random bottle. Whereas you were like, I have a plan to rescue this car and everyone in it.
And maybe I didn't need to do that, but again, I was 12 and I was like, oh, this is dangerous. I should move it away.
You picked up the mantle where no Sam would.
No Sam would.
There were no Sam's
Sam
present
didn't even
trying
have that
to
thought
save.
in his head.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So I think we've gotten to the bottom of it.
I think
Sam is the a-hole.
Thank you.
Yes.
I've waited years for this.
A-hole. But I also have an okay story time. We were talking about Paris and love being in the air.
Love in the air.
Love in the air. So I was in San Francisco.
That's not Paris.
Probably. Well, let me tell the story. Sorry. Sophia.
Sorry.
My goodness.
Were you in San Francisco?
I was in San Francisco.
He does have a track record
Let
where
me live.
He doesn't know where he's at.
And I was probably Riley's age, like 22. I had met this friend in the Bay when I was like 18, and I moved back to the Bay and we started hanging out. She was working at Zynga and she's like, oh, let me give you a whole tour of Zynga, like her office. It's like you remember like Farmville on Facebook? These damn kids. It's like a Facebook game.
Okay,
basically,
sure.
Zynga was like Facebook games. That was like there was like a gaming company.
For sure.
And Riley will give.
What else
did they do? Words with Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
I know.
Ringing
it.
some bells. So she was working there. She
I
gave me a
love
whole
Words with
tour.
Friends. Sorry, yeah.
Wait, was that Zynga? Words with Friends?
I love Words with Friends.
Maybe. Oh yeah, that was
Sorry.
a classic.
Besides the point.
Besides the point.
You were staying with a friend.
I was in San Francisco. She showed me her office.
Yeah.
And we had been friends, at this point, rekindling our friendship.
Sure.
I was like, she seems cool and cute and interested, and she invited me to her office.
She invited you to her office.
Let me invite her to dinner. And I asked my bestie at work, Lindsay, I was like, girl, give me the best locations for this date. And she said, oh, Lola's rooftop Argentinian steakhouse where you see the whole view of San Francisco.
Yeah.
It was on. So took her to Lola's. It was going great. We were chatting up all this stuff. And I was like, hey, waiter, I'm ready. We got some crazy, I got some sizzling chorizo pork shoulder and just immaculate. I mean, 11 out of 10 vibes. I called the waiter to get the bill with the full intentions of paying for the bill. And then she's like, oh, you know what's something I forgot to tell you? She was doing this rotation, she rotates her position every few months. She's like, in this next rotation, I'm going to be in Paris on Valentine's Day with my boyfriend. How cool is that?
Ooh.
And that's the day I learned that if I shouldn't say, do you want to go to dinner? I should say, you want to go on a date. Here's this great, be very intentional.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, I've also had plenty of times where I would be going out with a female friend and we'd get coffee or whatever, and it was not a date. We were just hanging out as friends. So that was the day I learned to be direct.
Yeah.
And the day that Paris made me sad.
Yeah, that is sad.
Yeah.
I feel like she might have known though. I feel like when people ask you out.
Right?
I feel like that was oh, I have a boyfriend.
Yeah. Like if I had asked someone out and she's like, oh, I have a boyfriend, let me tell him.
Yeah.
And either oh, hey, I don't feel comfortable going to dinner, which is well within your right, 100%. Or if you're oh, I'm still down, but just so you know, I'm dating someone I'm not, not trying to date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sad though.
Here's but then I can't remember if I said this part. I then, in this split second after she told me that, decided to split the bill. Am I the a-hole?
Oh,
because I always
that's
pay.
A last minute decision.
I always pay on the first date.
Yeah.
But if I'm hanging out with a friend, I usually, unless it's whatever, majority of the time, 50% plus, split the bill. Hey, we'll just pay for whatever we both got.
Yeah. I don't think it's necessarily if you go out with a friend and you pay for the bill, I don't it doesn't always mean date.
Yeah.
But I get she's just told you have
the implication.
Yeah. So I don't think so.
Because I'm not trying to come back and be like, oh, you're going to Paris. Well, let me pay for your bill. How about that? Some nice guy energy. Yeah.
I feel like in that scenario, I'll let you off.
Big protein?
Dude, if you would have paid for it, you would have definitely been a simp. Knowing that's a simp move. If you know she has a boyfriend and then you also paid for it, that's a simp move. And you didn't simp.
Double simp. I would have double simped, but instead I double pimped.
What?
By the way, Riley's nickname is Big Protein.
Yeah, no, I've heard the story. I was briefed.
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
Guys, do another Big Protein comment thread because it just makes me happy when you comment Big Protein 100 times for.
Yeah, Riley did give me a protein shake this morning.
Big Protein lives up to his name. Yeah. But speaking of living up to our names, Sophia, I think we have another story from you.
What?
We do. Read it now. Do it.
My girlfriend is sleeping with her ex and I'm uncomfortable with it. Should I stay or should I go? Should OP stay or should they go?
I could see how your girlfriend sleeping with her ex is kind of not cool.
Yeah.
Kind of not great.
The vibe.
I am predicting that this is going to be one of those ones where it's
tricky wording.
They were literally sleeping next to each other because babe, we were just on the trip and there was no space in the hotel and it was literally the floor was covered in fleas.
Yeah.
And
they were in Paris.
They were in Paris.
There were bed bugs.
There was literally.
They had to cuddle together for warmth.
No other option.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's what this is going to be.
Yeah.
And still.
I think they're trying to trick us.
And even still, it's not okay. So I'm going to go with OP, you should go. You should. I love that. Yeah, we should do that.
We are doing that.
That's true.
All right. So this comes from Apprehensive War 218, who says, my girlfriend and I, female, have been together for almost 1.5 years. First relationship for me, not for her. I trust her so much, but this situation with her bestie/ex has always made me insecure, especially because of the way I found out. She casually dropped it 4 months of dating because she thought she had already told me.
Oh,
interesting. I don't know about that. Before she dated me, she had a LDR. Do we
Long
know what
distance
that?
relationship.
Oh, okay. She had a long distance relationship with this now best friend with whom she broke up with 6 months before meeting me. During the breakup period, they took a trip together and one night started making out and then realized they were in the wrong and only wanted to be friends. Also a fact I found out much later.
During the relationship?
No,
Or
I think this is 6 months before meeting me.
Ah.
But this is kind of like a thing. That's like a thing. Like in like women, like, you know, lesbian relationships or like just like women relationships. That's like
hang out,
you know,
they make out, and they're like,
they're
this
like,
is not.
wait, actually, sorry, we're just friends. We're
This
besties.
ain't for me. Yeah.
So I'm right now. I'm not skeptical. Okay. Now they live in separate countries, but we are planning to visit the city where her bestie is living and where I'm from. And she expressed wanting to stay a few days with her bestie. My house and hers aren't very far apart, mind you. How are you feeling about this, John?
You know,
What are your thoughts on that?
You know, it's actually something that stood out to me that maybe didn't to everyone is that the bestie and OP are both in the hometown, and there's only room for one of us in this town.
Yeah.
There's a snake in my boots,
There's a snake
and it's in my
some
boots.
Yeah.
And not this other person. But I think that it's, you know, they did make out. They said, OP says that her partner said that they were like, we just want to be friends.
Yes.
But do we know
For
that
sure.
that's what actually happened?
That's true.
That is a question in my mind.
Maybe OP's girlfriend forgot to tell them again, like they said before.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little whoopsie.
Like, oh, sorry, I forgot to tell you we're actually in a relationship.
Question.
Big protein.
The whole like girls that are into girls making out and then being like, we should just be friends. Does that happen with guys too? Like, I've never
I
heard
don't
this
know.
before. Usually like if I make out with someone, I'm like, oh yeah, this is it.
Really?
I mean, yeah, I would.
It's because you're straight simping,
Yeah.
bro. You got to go from simp to.
Yeah. I mean, I can't speak from the guy's perspective. I only know friend, you know, I can't say. I can't tell
But
you that.
say it
Riley.
anyways. No,
I
just
can't
kidding.
tell you that, Riley. That's something that you have to learn.
I
for
think
yourself.
I think men are more like
Get over here, John.
Get either a it's like a kind of generally speaking a little binary on either you kind of like, oh my gosh, like this is happening, everything's going on, or the guy's like, nah, it was nothing. It was like not a hookup if it's literally making out, but like a casual hookup type of thing. I feel like that's the kind of like stereotypical choices of the guy response.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
Yeah. I just like they made out and now they're friends. That's what like I'm like.
I don't know. I feel like that happens a lot.
I think that happens pretty often.
I think that happens pretty often.
Yeah.
Like I'm just saying if I was gay and I made out with John and then I
Yeah.
made out with John and then now we're friends, like I don't know if I could look at it
I
the
wouldn't
same.
be able to resist you. That's for sure.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good.
Like, I mean, I already can't resist you. Like, I don't need any more. I don't need any more fuel to that fire.
Okay. There's just honestly there's one person between us then.
That is true.
Is it me? Should I leave the room?
Yeah. Sophia, can you just leave the podcast studio?
All right, gotta
Quit
go,
reading
guys.
the story.
I think I'm intruding.
Just kidding. Could you continue the
Yeah,
story? Actually?
sorry, we got sidetracked because Riley has questions.
Wow.
Riley's questioning.
Big protein. Stop it.
Okay, where were we? I expressed discomfort at her sleeping in the same bed with her bestie, who she used to have sex with. Stop.
Whoa. Wait.
thought they just made
Hold on.
Hold on.
Wait a minute.
Hold on.
I guess that's kind of.
That I think also that could be a thing. I don't like. I'm not.
Yeah, it's a little confusing, but it
yeah.
seems at this point we now know this
Yeah.
particular bestie, they have slept.
They have
together.
slept together.
As of this point,
actually,
right now.
yeah,
Okay. Wow.
in that sense of the word.
Yes.
And while she could understand my perspective, she also reasoned by saying she didn't want to bring that history into their current friendship, since they've long determined they only wanted to be best friends and weren't good for each other. She said that her place is small and likely only had a couch, and it would be weird to not sleep in the same bed as her bestie. Am I the a-hole for still being uncomfortable with her sleeping like that, even though I trust her completely? I've only met this friend once very recently through FaceTime, so my distrust could also be from not knowing her and my girlfriend taking so long to introduce us. There are times this relationship with her bestie/ex makes me so insecure, and other times when I could give an F. Don't care. All I know is it's driving me crazy. What do you think, John? Should they break up? Should they stay together? Is OP crazy?
Don't think we're yet on the grounds of fully shutting down the relationship.
Yeah.
I think this is the type of thing where OP's like, hey, let's come to the table. Here's why this is uncomfortable for me. Here's why I don't like it. And can we make a plan moving forward to not, do something like you sleeping in the same bed as like an ex-partner or something. And then if the partner is like, you know what? You are so right. I apologize. Let me prove with my actions that I can be trustworthy and that we're all good to go and we're Gucci. Could be good.
Yeah.
Could be truly a simple misunderstanding of the partner being like, oh, I personally don't see this as a big deal, but now that you've communicated to me it's a big deal, all right, we're good.
Yeah.
However, all that said, I just given the context we have, I don't know if that is what's going to happen, but I think they just need to have that conversation and see what happens.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say don't break up yet.
Yeah.
And it is like a little bit of a red flag because it is, again, I think it's possible where the person is like, the weird thing to me was like, oh, it'd be weird to sleep in the other person's bed. Everyone watching in Sophia right now, if you go crash at a friend's place, I mean, you've crashed at a friend's place before.
I always sleep in my,
you always
I think that's really common for women too. Specifically.
You sleep in
like
the same
non-men.
bed as
I think that's like a really common thing for like non-men to do.
That is a great point.
Yeah.
That is why we don't need Sam on this podcast and we need Sophia
offering
and her perspective. That's right.
This is defamatory.
Do you hear anything? Because I don't hear anything. Yeah.
No. I'm being attacked.
Sam's allowed. But I think so.
Yeah.
That is a fantastic point.
Yes.
Sophia.
As a woman.
As
I
a
have
woman.
a thing or two to say.
Yes. Because I was like, oh, it's very unusual for like, I'm always like crashing on the couch, air mattress, what have you.
Yeah. Like I would never, I don't have an air mattress, but I would just have my friends crash in,
So this that bodes a little bit more in the favor of the partner.
Yeah.
Right. Where it's like, hey, if it was like a friend with no history whatsoever.
Yeah.
Could be fine.
Like I totally get why OP's uncomfortable because there is history. And
right.
I think that's just a conversation that they have to have.
It's a conversation that needs to happen.
I don't think anything's going on.
Yeah.
Based off of the information that we have.
Right.
But I think it's just a conversation.
That's true. Great point.
Yeah.
Thank you for the female perspective.
The female perspective.
That 90% of our audience has been missing this whole time.
Yeah. This is for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, let's do that TikTok and name a woman. Go. Right now.
Michelle
5.
Obama.
Apparently, like 90% of men, when asked that question, name Michelle Obama or Hillary Clinton.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like a thing?
Yeah.
Okay, I do have a question about that. Aren't you supposed to because I've seen like a boyfriend and a girlfriend do it. Aren't you supposed to like mention the girlfriend? And a lot of guys mention like their
that's
ex?
like the test. Yeah.
Oh.
And they get it wrong. Yeah.
So,
but I mean, like, honestly, I would I feel like that's just a silly test.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm going to do another test.
Okay.
This is the testing hypothesis.
I am being tested.
Okay. We're going to do rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
Okay. You ready?
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Most men will do scissors on their first go. So if you want to win a thing of rock, paper,
beat men.
this has worked with most people or most guys. Honestly, I don't know if it's exclusive to men because I've done it to most people and most people will choose scissors. I don't know why.
She's just outing men right now.
Yeah. But this one particularly might not be most men. It might just be everyone.
Wild.
But if you want to win rock, paper, scissors, choose rock. And like 90% of the time, you'll win.
I thought you ask a random question and then you like say, let's play rock, paper, scissors.
No. It's literally just play rock, paper, scissors. Yeah. I don't know what you're watching, Riley. But
yeah, Riley, what are you watching?
Yeah.
I guess useless information about rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
You know what you should be watching, Riley?
What's that?
This next story I'm about to read.
Ooh.
My husband is sending nudes to a coworker and I don't know what to do. Should I leave him? Should they leave him?
Absolutely. 100%.
Divorce.
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 Gone. Oh, yeah, they're
Divorce.
married. Divorce.
Oh, yeah. Big divorce. I mean, even if they weren't married, divorce.
Divorce.
Divorce is for everyone except for people who submit stories to r/OKOP show.
You get married.
That's right. Married. So if you want to submit a story to us to read, just like this one, go to r/OKOP show or
call 440-508-6567.
Let's dive in. Extension Guitar 2805 says, Hi, OKOP. Hi.
Oh, hi.
I am truly at a loss. My husband, male 34, and I, female 32, have been together since 2012.
Ooh, that's long.
11 years in the game.
Yeah.
We've had our fair share in ups and downs over the years, but recently married in April of 2023. We have 4 children, ages ranging 12 to 2.
Okay.
I'm a stay-at-home mom and have been for 8+ years now. I recently this year had joined my children's school's parent-teacher club. It had been more of a job than I truly could have imagined. I'm there more than I'm not. I put on a trick or treat for my kids' school and was so proud of all the hard work. My husband came after work for what was left of it, about 15 minutes, and had cleaned up a little and then went home. I finally cleaned everything up, counted some inventory, and headed home. I stopped to grab him some food as my mom took our kids home so we could go to another event the following day/night. When I got home, he ate and I took a shower. Now, this whole week of me spending time at the school was to prepare for this trick or treat. OP keeps saying trunk or treat.
No, that's a thing.
That's a thing.
Trunk or treat.
Wait, what is trunk or treat?
So trunk or treat.
Hold the
Wait,
phone.
have you been saying trick or treat instead
I
of
thought
trunk
they
or treat?
misspoke. There was like a few misspellings. Okay, what is? All right, what is trunk or treat?
Trunk or treat is when a bunch of people get like, it's usually like school events too.
Okay.
They'll get like a bunch of cars and will like sell, like give out, or not sell, give out candy instead of having people go door to door. It was a really big thing during COVID because they didn't want like people
going to your house.
Yeah. So it was like outdoors and, you know, like everyone's, you know, wearing masks and stuff. And so it's continued into like the present. But yeah, so it's everyone's just in cars giving out candy at in their cars.
OP.
Or out of their cars.
Part of the OK fam. I am so sorry because I was unaware of this. I thought it was a autocorrect error, but
is John the a-hole?
You know what? I am the a-hole and I am the error, ladies and gentlemen. I must be corrected. So Sophia, thank you for educating me.
You're welcome, of course.
Now, OP goes on to say, now mind you, I kept up with all the housework during this trunk or treat. And I noticed his attitude towards me was so harsh and not normal. It really made me suspect that something was wrong.
Yeah.
When I got out of the shower, I had such a weird feeling come over me and have all week. I knew I needed to check to just let my mind rest. So, when I was asleep, I checked his phone. Really quick, gut check.
Yeah.
Okay, fam. Sophia, off of the feeling, is this grounds? Is this grounds to check the phone?
I think that if you have lost like trust to the point where you're going to check someone's phone, that's just like your relationship's probably
something's not right.
Yeah. I don't think that people should be checking their partner's phones in general.
Yes.
That's like a sign that maybe the relationship isn't working, you know?
Yeah.
Like I think if you need to check your partner's phone, I think that's like, yeah.
We say usually like there's oftentimes where there's some sort of thing that happens, like some sort of tangible piece of quote unquote evidence that's like, okay, let me do some further investigation just so I'm not jumping out the gate and accusing them. This one is kind of tricky with the
just on a feeling. I mean, trust your gut, and it seems like maybe they were right, but yeah, I don't think you should be checking your partner's phone. I think that you should be talking to them, and then if that is not working, then maybe it's like, oh, well, this relationship's just not working.
I got a feeling.
Yeah. And that's relationship advice with Sophia.
That my partner is cheating on me.
And that's singing with John.
That's right. So we're at the point where OP has checked the phone. Mind you, we have each other's passwords. So I didn't sneak.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
Trust your gut, OP, but
this might be the grounds for having a conversation first. We shall see. We shall see. And I noticed he had a Snapchat from his coworker. OP, opened the phone and saw that there was a picture of her breasts and more.
Wait, like they opened
They saw OP saw her husband got a notification on Snapchat,
and then opened it.
It was breast. This is not his first time doing something like this to me.
No.
He has cheated, which also from our conversation earlier, this gives way more grounds to her checking the phone, right?
Yeah, I think you should I personally think that you should not get back with someone who's cheated on you.
Yeah, it's not good.
But I do get you having kids.
There are situations, kids, so many things, right? He had gotten photos from others prior to this. And I have mentally had to pull myself out of severe depression and horrible self-esteem issues. OP, you are a queen and do not deserve this.
You don't
We love you, Korean. I love you from everyone here in the studio.
Absolutely. And I understand wanting to stay with someone who's like, the father of your children and needing support in that.
4 children, 12 years.
You don't deserve that.
You don't deserve it.
You don't deserve that.
You deserve love and appreciation and all the wonderful things on this planet.
Absolutely.
I don't want to go through it all again, and I feel like I am back to that deep, dark place that I got myself out from years ago and multiple times before that. Am I the a-hole for wanting to leave my husband for this?
No.
It's been so true.
No.
It's been so incredibly hard to watch him go off to work every day when they still work and talk to each other every day. Not to mention, my stepdaughter loves her, and talks about her all the time. Mind you, they are both closer in age than me and her, the coworker, are. So the daughter and the coworker are closer in age because the coworker must
the 12-year-old daughter?
I mean, I guess if she's like 20 or something, then that could be closer than... Yeah,
she would have to be 20.
That's still crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah, because then she's 20. If she's 20, OP's 32. That's 12 years.
It's got to be 20
Goodness
or
gracious.
22 at least.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And it kills me every time she says her name. I truly don't know what to do. Please help, advice, anything, please. Thank you for reading. Am I the a-hole? XO. OP, first off, we love you.
We love you.
And
I love you. John loves you.
We every single Big Protein.
I love you.
Big Protein loves you. And you do not deserve any of this madness.
No.
As Sophia has said, it of course gets complicated when there is all, the children and the years of the relationship, your life is together. You have been giving your all to the children and your job as a mom and staying home for while he is out at work. So that's the complication of like, where do I?
Yeah.
There's so many things. There's so many things I'm sure that you have to consider. He's done this before.
He's doing it now.
Sophia, can you kick us off?
I think he's going to do it again if he's done it before and he's doing it now.
I agree. High risk. Very high risk.
And I understand. I mean, obviously I don't understand being in that situation.
Totally.
And being in a relationship with like children.
Yes.
But like you've already said that you've been in she's already said that she's been in a depression before and going back into one. And if it's not helping your mental health, and it doesn't seem like he's really doing much work with like helping out with the kids with the trunk or treat or like helping out at home. So like, I guess weighing, what the effort that he puts in with the kids.
Yeah.
And, maybe considering divorce.
Yeah. In an ideal world, I think definitely like seeing a therapist, a counselor, someone who can like walk you through these options that is a professional, has seen this, 100 times over. Absolutely. To be like, okay, here's how this happens. Here's how to think about it. Here's, just a unbiased, objective, licensed person for advice.
Which is not us.
Which is not us.
Oh, we don't know.
Big Protein is big, not validated or verified by any licenses.
It's true.
And neither are we. Nope. But also one of the beautiful things about our community sending us stories, everyone watching, if you have been through a similar scenario, if you have seen a similar scenario play out and something came good of it, please share your advice and stories and everything with OKOP. Again, obviously the three of us are by far not the most qualified professionals, which
maybe
I think
the least qualified.
Maybe the least qualified, which is why speaking with a qualified professional is great. But also the personal stories, like one great thing about that people get from sharing these stories is advice of people who've been through the same.
Yeah.
So I think it would be super awesome to OP if you would share your stories below. I'm sure OP would appreciate it. And
You are not alone, OP.
you're not alone, and hopefully some dialogue can happen.
Yeah.
I'm crossing my fingers. It's happened before. Hoping for the best for you, OP, that you can get some more great advice in addition to maybe some good advice and solace that we've given you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that might be a rap-a-doodle-doo
A rap-a-doodle-doo.
for this episode. If you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And
See you tomorrow.